This and every episode of REKT Podcast is brought to you by Beaxy Exchange, an upcoming cryptocurrency exchange built in collaboration with OneMarket Data. Beaxy is bringing legacy finance speed, power, and sophistication to crypto for the first time. With 225,000 transactions per second per pair, comparable to NASDAQ, 15 order types on day one, with 25 order types on full rollout, and a dedicated customer support team, Beaxy is setting itself apart from the competition. Check out Beaxy today at Beaxy.com and pre-register today at Beaxy.com/registration to get your free Beaxy Exchange tokens. That's Beaxy.com, Beaxy.com.
Hi, I'm Franklin Fitch with Beaxy Exchange, and this is REKT.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am Bunchu Betts alongside my talented and esteemed co-hosts Cynthia Wood and Chamber. Cynthia, how you doing today?
I am fantastic. I'm super happy to have our guest on. He's a friend of mine and I'm happy that he's here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Chamber, how you doing today, bud? Wear any fun sweaters?
I did. I'm wearing my brand new grizzly
sweater.
Bear fun sweater.
Oh, there you go. We actually got some people to use the hashtag today.
Yeah, fun sweater was.
Shout out to Kyle.
I don't want to say trending, but it was definitely.
It was fun. I saw it.
And then joining us today, we have a very special guest. As you guys know, Beaxy Exchange is launching soon, and it is one of our sponsors here, so we wanted to bring them on, and we have the head of marketing, Franklin Fitch, here with us. Franklin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Really excited to be on here. You guys is one of my favorite podcasts, and had the pleasure of meeting Cynthia at Voice of Blockchain, and I think you guys are pretty awesome.
Thank you. We appreciate that. How was
that means
how was
he
your
thinks
experience?
I am pretty awesome, guys.
Well, I didn't want to say it that way, but
that's all right.
Jury's out.
I'll
on
take
you guys.
it.
No, I think you guys are pretty cool too. Sorry, what were you saying?
Don't forget, Cynthia. I won the damn poll on who the favorite guest
Damn
or
you.
who the favorite host.
I feel we need to do
Okay.
that again. We need to do this quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly.
I didn't vote in
should
that
be
poll, so I'm not sure if the sample size was.
You know what?
Exactly.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
every vote counts, so get out there to the poll, and as P. Diddy would say, vote or die.
Vote or die.
So anyway, so how was that Voice of Blockchain experience for you guys, Franklin?
It was good. I think that the Beaxy table was the coolest. I'm not just saying that from a personal bias perspective. We had a really cool setup. We had got some carpeting. We put up, we bought and put up multiple TVs for it. And actually had kind of some shots of the demo playing on the TVs, and had a really great crowd there the whole time. Met a lot of really interesting folks. The networking, I think, was really fruitful, and had some fun social outings as well.
I would absolutely say that Beaxy did have the best setup at World of Blockchain, and
Honey Miner was cool too. I mean,
yes,
those guys also had a really cool setup. The shirts, I mean, they had. Yeah. I mean, I like those guys a lot too. I don't have any personal, affiliation with them, but I just respect what they're doing. But I really like their setup as well.
Yeah, and long before Beaxy sponsored us, I came back from Chicago immediately and said Beaksy's the next big deal. So we're obviously fans.
That was the show after. That was the show right after Voices of Blockchain. How was World CryptoCon for you guys? Same kind of deal there.
Yeah, we didn't exhibit at World CryptoCon, which I think was the right decision. My thought with that event was going in, it was pretty clearly branded as an influencer party type event. And so we tried to focus on everything else that was happening related to the conference or not necessarily at the conference. It was less so, what was going on at the conference and more other networking and other meetings that we had the opportunity to get while we were in Vegas. And then right before that, we had actually gone to Crypto Invest Summit. So there was a great little stretch there of, getting to pitch some folks in person and have some meetings that we wouldn't have gotten to otherwise have.
That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I've gotten to see some of the live demo stuff, so I know it's pretty cool. But let's let everybody else kind of get to hear from you guys what Beaxy's doing and everything like that. So, where did the idea for Beaxy come from? How did it all get started? How did you personally get into crypto in the beginning?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't really know. I think it just sort of happened. I mean, it was about 2 years ago now that I had started hearing more about Bitcoin and about Ethereum. And, I had a coworker at my previous job. My previous job was in like market research consulting, worked for a really cool company that was doing like online community-based research. So I was basically online all day, digging up information and kind of compiling it into reports for a variety of Fortune 500 type clients. That was a really cool intro to, just that kind of online research that I think is a requirement in crypto. You pretty much have to be online digging all the time. And that was, a great set of experience that allowed me to do some crypto digging while I was also doing work. But I heard from a good friend of mine who actually ended up being a business partner of mine, about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I was like, this is really interesting, and just kind of dove down the rabbit hole from there. In relation to getting started with Beaxy, so as you guys may know, I founded the group, the Crypto Fam, on Twitter, and I actually work with a team of about 8 other guys on that. Most people don't know that. They think it's like probably one person tweeting. It's not. There's a lot of us that tweet on there. In fact, my partner Brad does most of the analysis and the tweeting. But I started that group, and that was really the thing that pulled me way, way further down the rabbit hole. As I kind of got more immersed in crypto, I was networking as much as possible. Really networking like a fiend for like 6 months straight. It was all I did. And Chicago has such a great crypto scene. I got to meet a lot of really cool folks out at these meetups. Luke Martin, Birch, a lot of different folks, Korean Jew as well out there, and met these guys. And at another one of these meetups, which was kind of a private crypto dinner, I met Artak, the CEO of Beaxy, and he was like, "Hey, you're a marketer, you have this marketing experience. We're looking for a little bit more support in that department for Beaxy. Would you want to start to get involved?" So at first, I was just getting involved in an external kind of advisory or consulting capacity. And then eventually just became, kind of grew into the role of head of marketing. And it's been a really fun journey. We've had a lot of success recently on the marketing front and otherwise. And, I consider it probably the best decision I ever made.
Just as a backstory, and I know that Franklin knows this story, it's cool how Beaxy started out. Beaxy started out with just Artak and one other developer. What is her name?
Matal, yeah.
Matal. They started out in Artak's house, just programming and coding just themselves, and she slept on his couch in the house with Artak and his wife, and they spent, I don't know how long, just her sleeping on his couch, working 24 hours a day to get Beaxy up and going. So it really was a project of passion and heart, and them knowing that they could create something better than what was out there. So it's a very cool story.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that was kind of my next question, is kind of where...
One second. I do have one question first.
Yeah.
If she's working 24 hours a day, how is she also sleeping on the couch? You can't do both, people.
Okay, maybe 22 hours
slight
a day.
Modification.
It was like naps in between, but they were working around the clock.
All right, okay.
With cat naps.
Like that. No, they actually both had day jobs as developers, and they were leaving work, and they would come straight back to his apartment. His wife would prepare some food, and they would just sit there and work for 6 to 8 hours after work every day.
It's an amazing story.
Until like 2 a.m. and then pass out and then go do it again. She didn't even have time most of the time to go back home. Yeah, it's really nuts. I mean,
it's a cool story.
I think that's the thing that maybe gets missed with Beaxy. part of it is the way that we've chosen to market ourselves and, taken some kind of hardline approaches. And we were all over Twitter for a period there, and I understand that might have caused people some grief. But really, the story is an honest one, and this is something that they're very passionate about, and I'm very passionate about as well.
I think that's why I kind of fell in love with the project when I was in Chicago, was meeting RTalk and just knowing the story behind it and how passionate they were about it, and that it wasn't about money. It was just about creating something better than what was out there and the hours that they put into it. It's a cool story, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So that kind of brings us to my next question too. It's a really cool passion project story. What do they, and you guys believe that Beaxy solves the problem that Beaxy is going to be solving, in that crypto space, specifically in the exchange space?
Yeah, so, I think there's a variety of things that we're solving for. I would kind of categorize it as a broader lack of quality services currently. There's service interruptions when Bitcoin fluctuates $500 up and down. Many exchanges still crash. Binance recently.
Quote, unquote.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is I think that they're upgrading the infrastructure of their exchange, which kind of lagged behind. Binance, again, when Ripple pumps, things like that, that's, they're going down, or they're having service interruptions, or orders can't be completed. There's a lack of features too, right? So a lot of exchanges don't have stop loss, and they don't have any advanced order types like an OSO or conditional logic. Right. That's the stuff that we're trying to come in and fix. And it's, a lot of people don't see that as a problem. It is a problem. If you want, more money to come into the space, it's not going to be able to happen until they, traders and other folks have the experience that they're used to in legacy markets, which involves, a range of order types that cater to their needs, and an exchange that doesn't crash. The security has also been an issue too. We actually just secured a partnership. This hasn't been announced, so this will be announced on your guys' show first.
Sweet.
But
exclusive.
Yeah, so cool. We locked down a partnership with cybersecurity giant Optiv to actually audit our full exchange. So they're one of the 7 biggest cybersecurity firms in the world. Not cheap to do that, but we've never been ones to spare cost on doing things the right way.
That's a huge announcement. And speaking of legacy markets, can you touch on a little bit about OneTick and why your partnership with them is such a huge deal?
Yeah, so OneTick is a solution that is a product basically sold by a company called One Market Data. We typically use the two interchangeably. We call them OneTick internally. The company's One Market Data. In reality, that's the solution that company sells. And what they, who they sell it to is, it's every kind of major financial player worldwide. Bloomberg, the CME, Credit Suisse, Scottrade, the Federal Reserve, Bank of America. It's this list of finance giants, and what they're doing is they're using their OneTick solution for data streaming and in-memory database analytics. And so what we did is we had some matching algorithms for our core exchange product that RTalk and Mittal had developed during those sleepless nights that Cynthia so eloquently described. And basically they gave that set of algorithms to the OneTick team after we locked down a partnership with them and said, we want you to take this and build it on your in-memory database solution, build a matching engine for us. Now that agreement is exclusive. No other exchange in crypto can have that relationship with OneTick. Others have asked since we started, and the answer is just no, you can't get that solution.
That's
what that
so
enables us
huge.
to have, it is. I think we're even still trying to understand just how significant
when
that
you
is.
talk about legacy markets and wanting to get the money that's already in stock markets into crypto, and then that Beaxy has this exclusive partnership with OneTick, who provides their data to Bloomberg and CME, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it totally is. And what it means is that we have a direct line to Bloomberg and the CME and Scottrade and Bank. So if we need to, talk to those folks as institutional clients, we just give them a call. We have the means to have a direct line to them. And so we're kind of still fully exploring what that means, what the full capabilities that offers us are. But, the core things that we always talk about are it enables us to be a lot faster, and speed is directly tied to crashing or not crashing, right? And then it also gives us the advanced order types. So on day one, we're going to have somewhere between 15 and 18 order types. And on full rollout, we'll have, somewhere in the mid-20s, 24, 25 range order types. So this includes, order sends orders, conditional logic where if one asset does this and one asset does this, then I want to do this. Things that you just can't do right now in crypto without designing some more advanced programming.
I had a quick question just in regards to the order types. What would a typical exchange currently have as of right now as far as order types? Like how many options?
Like 4 to 6.
Okay, so that's a significant difference.
We're talking 4 to 5x of what any typical exchange is offering.
All right, follow-up question, two-parter. What does Beaxy mean? And is that a honey badger?
I know the answer to this question.
Is that a honey badger as the mascot? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, it is. Whenever we started, whenever I very first started doing work with Beaxy on marketing, I was talking to another advisor of Beaxy, Matt Gallant is his name. He's a really experienced marketer. They call him the mad scientist of marketing. And the very first phone call I ever had with this guy, we both agreed we sort of like filled in each other's sentence saying like Beaxy needs a mascot. I had looked, and at that time in crypto there weren't really any well-defined mascots, at least that I knew of. And I said, definitely not for exchanges. And I said, there's a really interesting opportunity here, right? Because what are some of the problems with exchanges? They're not well personified. They seem like these sort of stodgy institutions. The customer support is lacking. How about we humanize this a little bit, personify this a little bit, and what's the ultimate meme in crypto? It's the badger. It's so the honey badger don't care, and this is, I guess, ironically, the honey badger does care. Right, but it's that was kind of the rationale, and we picked an initial logo, and we're actually going through some branding and design kind of edits and updates right now, and we'll be rolling out a refined, newer version of the logo pretty soon.
Speaking of the iterations of the logos, when you guys were doing some of that, the Twitter presence, you did some contests with the memes and the logo contest. Talk a little bit about that and your kind of engagement on social media and what you're trying to really do there, to kind of ingrain yourselves in the culture.
Yeah, great question. I mean, the rationale specifically with the contest was two things. One, we think there's so many great content creators in crypto, and we want to continue to get them involved in our project. The other part is that our referral contest did really, really well in its first 2 weeks. It almost did too well because it sort of dominated people's Twitter feeds. And honestly, we like felt bad. We were like that, we didn't want it to be so intense. We got a lot of people being like, okay, what the hell is going on? Like, what is Beaxy? How is this happening? Is everybody being paid to do this? Is this like an army of paid shills? It's like, no, it's just a cleverly designed referral contest. And we worked with a couple people who helped us design that, and our team worked pretty hard on it. But that was, we also wanted to kind of take the foot off the gas of the overt shilling and find other ways to engage the community. And so that was like, okay, what do we do? Well, we can reward people for creating great content for us. And that was kind of the mentality.
Talk a little bit about the Beaxy token and, how it's going to be used on the platform, what its capabilities are going to be, and why people should be, interested in that as a really integral part of your platform.
Yeah, so the token is similar to a BNB, where it's going to have you'll have access through the token to features on the exchange, advanced tools. We're going to have the TradingView integration into the exchange, and so advanced versions of TradingView. You'll have more access through the token. It kind of enables user levels, and so the more of the tokens you have and hold, the greater discounts you will get on the exchange platform. You'll be able to have unique access to community polls to kind of understand what it is that we do in our development roadmap and what projects we list and things like that. And I think this is just the beginning of the utility of the token. We're always going to be seeking to expand it. In this way, I actually really respect what Binance has done. I think they've done a great job of continuing to expand the usability and utility of the BNB token. And we want to learn from what they've done successfully and continue to expand our token utility in that way. And then there's our secondary token, which is the Plus token, for non-US residents at first, and hopefully everyone going forward, you'll be able to swap Beaxy tokens for Plus, and you basically lock the Plus tokens on the exchange, and those would give you a share of trading fees that were collected on the exchange. So it's a sort of a passive, revenue generation by holding that token.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, and I think that's one of the things that I noticed was there's a bunch of different ways that you're going to be able to use that token for, discounted fees, things like that. Makes it really attractive. And, one of the other things I wanted to ask about, because, the crypto Twitter sphere and crypto in general is, has a privacy notion to it. And so sometimes, with these places that come out, people are a little reluctant to do, things like KYC and things, of that nature. Could you talk a little bit about...
Do you mind if I jump in real quick here? Because I wanted to thank whoever came up with the idea of not having to take the stupid picture with me signing a piece of paper.
Is that not the dumbest thing ever?
Oh,
yeah.
When I was doing the Beaxy KYC, I couldn't have been happier. Not having to be, I'll do all the KYC you want me to do, as long as I don't have to sign a piece of paper and have that picture on my phone, in perpetuity.
Yeah, they're a little awkward. I've done them before, and it's just like, okay, I feel like a total idiot here.
Yeah.
When I first got into crypto, I took at least 6 of those pictures of me going with my hand next to my face and my ID, pointing, yes, that's me, 20 pounds heavier, motherfucker.
They're keeping your pics, we're seeing some.
This is
changes here, Cynthia.
For the future.
We're worried about you at this point.
That's funny. Yeah, but talk about kind of the KYC process with you guys, and why that's so important, going forward in the crypto space to you.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of thoughts on this subject, and obviously we've received plenty of feedback from it. We know that people in crypto hate KYC. It's not a mystery. We're not doing it to spite people. It's a best practice of a financial instrument like an exchange, period. That's the end of the story, right? We don't want to get shut down by the SEC. We want to operate a lawful, legitimate business. And with the lack of guidance from the SEC and IRS on what true best practices are, we just have gone with what the existing statutes say is the right thing to do. The other part of that is if you operate an exchange that involves fiat, you have to have KYC. It's not debatable, right?
Right.
We intend to have fiat, and so that becomes a requirement, not a nice to have. It's a need to have kind of a thing. I think it's also important people understand why KYC was created in the first place. You had big banks like HSBC basically laundering drug dealers' money, terrorists' money at a massive scale.
Absolutely.
And doing zero checks on their customers. And it presumably caused the death of many, many innocent people. It at the very least supported significant criminal empires from existing. And we can get into a debate about that whole sphere, but the point is KYC was created for reasons related to that, right? And so it's not this invention to collect your personal information and deprive you of privacy. There's a lot of other ways that happens in the modern world, right? This is a means of protecting consumers and protecting users of your exchange, and it helps us do so.
I was going to say also, too, if we want to get to where we want to get to, we won't be able to do that without the proper steps and KYCs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not going to be anonymous. It's not going to be if you want all that big money to come in, obviously it has to come with the proper
Everybody
steps.
likes to tout institutional money. Well, that's not going to come in until we're following the degree of the law. So
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. And especially given
what kind of money? What kind of money, Cynthia?
Institutional money.
Yeah, I mean,
Franklin,
our position, especially given our partnership with One Market Data, means that we can help bring certain institutional money into the space, right? And that's, I look at REKT and I look at other initiatives that are helping to bring that money into the space. Again, I know people have mixed feelings about this in crypto. I totally understand that and empathize with that, but this is where the space is going regardless. That money's going to come in one way or another. And the degree to which we can facilitate that, I think people would like to see their bags moon and the space succeed and thrive.
Say.
I mean,
if you want to see their bags moon, that money's
I don't know what that means. Right. What does that even mean? What is a moon?
Lambo.
Lambos.
Moon.
I just know depression and fake outs and salt season. Those are the only times
salt season. I see Nye and REKT are dumping salt on themselves today. Did you guys see that?
Yes, I saw that.
Is that what they were doing?
Oh yeah, the salt bucket challenge.
I saw it.
Seems like it would dry my skin out too much.
I would think it would. It's windy enough here in Chicago. I don't need any dry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, quick question for you. We're talking about the Beaxy token. Can people pick that up at any point now? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so we have a sale open right now on Open Token, and it'll be going on for a few more days yet. That would be the way that you can participate in the sale if you're kind of a retail investor, so to speak. Again, because we have sort of a lack of guidance and want to operate a token sale in a legitimate and legal way, you have to be accredited if you're in the U.S. to participate. If you're not in the U.S., that you just have to do a KYC on Open Token. That's like standard practice for any token sale they host, and they tend to host a lot of really great token sales for great projects. So thankful to be on there. If you're a private investor that wants to invest more, you can get in touch with the team directly via Telegram or via email. So that's kind of the way that we've run things. We focused more on a private token sale and less of an ICO model because we're just trying to adapt to where the space is right now. And it's a guessing game a lot of times, but you have to kind of take the evidence of what's been done and the little bit of guidance that's been put out and do the best that you can.
So then, obviously, that token sale will still be running for a couple more days here. So, people will have to act quickly by the time this comes out. But so say they are listening to this next week, then, how can people purchase the token if they're so inclined? And, when do you guys see yourselves launching?
Yeah, so we will have potentially other platforms similar to Open Token that will open after this. We're not sure that there will be. We're exploring options right now. We want to have people be able to participate in the sale. That's important to us. Again, having people have access to the token is a really important part of its utility value. That said, the way that our sale is structured, if we don't sell out in private for the first roughly 3 months of the exchange's life cycle, you will be able to purchase Beaxy directly on the exchange in a sort of a rolling raise type model, a la like EOS or a Dragon chain. So that's kind of a unique thing that we haven't seen a lot of folks doing, but we're just trying to combine the best of different raise models and also maintain an equitable position where people can get the access to the token if they're not accredited. It's kind of silly. I mean, the accreditation laws right now are a whole other story I could get into. I think it's totally absurd. It makes little to no sense to me why you would have to follow those archaic regulations to be able to, have access to opportunities that other people have access to. That said,
I will say, talking about access, the Beaxy Telegram group and just in general, there's a whole slew of Beaxy team members answering questions constantly, always in communication. So That's another place that you can go if you have any questions about buying the token, is the Telegram group.
Yeah, that's where I always point people to first, is the Telegram group. It's the most responsive. We have a dedicated customer support team. They are really good. I love those guys. They're super, super hardworking. There is always someone online to be able to answer a question. And to answer your question previously, the exchange will launch January 30th. So that's another thing that we have not announced publicly that I am announcing on your program.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you guys get a twofer.
You guys get a twofer.
Oh,
It's only because he loves me so much, guys. That's the only reason.
that's must
I
be.
won't
That's
deny
the
it.
only logical conclusion.
I won't deny it. But yeah, that's another thing that we have not put out any formal announcement about. We've said January. We haven't said when in January. It will be January 30th. And we'll be having a little launch party too, which we may be working with another noteworthy crypto project on that launch party.
Cool.
So stay tuned for more about that.
Is it in Chicago? Maybe? Yes.
That other project, it will be in Chicago, but that other crypto project is not located in Chicago.
Okay.
You guys probably know about them. I can't say too much because we haven't finalized things, but we're trying to really do something special. And
Well, coming from the Beaxy party when I was at Voice of Blockchain,
oh man,
Beaxy knows how to throw a party.
yeah, we actually had one last night with Artok doing the grilling, and I hate to FOMO you like that.
Artok loves to grill. He's always grilling.
He's the greatest. He's the GOAT at
the grill
grilling.
master.
You guys got to come through.
Yeah,
we got to get the fellas out here for a little grilling and chilling.
All
session.
three
need some
of
of that
us need to
Chicago
go back
grill.
to Chicago.
Yeah, Artok is serious. It's like he's like shockingly good at grilling. I don't know how or what voodoo magic.
Whenever I sign on to Discord to talk in the Beaxy group, it's always Artok's like, "Hey, I'm grilling. Are we having a party tonight?
Yeah,
you coming over, Franklin?"
Yeah, it's like once a month we do some nice grilling on the rooftop, and it's just a great way to socialize. I mean, we work super hard, and it's like we need those team. Outing. I guess it's not an outing because we're staying in. We're not out in public, but we need those team bonding events.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. So, we absolutely expect an invite to this to the party. So,
yeah, you got it. You got it for sure.
We bill ourselves as a party and a podcast, so I feel like it's only necessary that we're there.
Hey, you guys could live podcast.
Yes, live podcast from the BC launch party.
Yes.
There you go.
I'm down. This sounds great.
Yep, and
We are a bunch of degenerates too.
we totally.
Honestly, who in crypto is not a degenerate? Like point me one out, and I'll deny it.
That's what makes our podcast so fun too, because we get a lot of these bigger people in crypto Twitter to come on and kind of just shoot the breeze with us, and we all have similar stories that either how we got started or where we've come from and things like that. And so it really is a I don't want to say degenerate culture, but it's like a really fun and it's a fun place with a lot of people and that are all kind of driven in the same way by the same things, which is pretty
What's
cool.
funny is you say we're all kind of driven in the same ways. It's funny because there's so many different people from all over the world, but we all have this one thing in common. So it's definitely very cool.
It makes going to these events so much fun. I know that there's been some stuff stirred up about WCC and the professionalism of it. It's like, can we loosen up a little bit here, guys? Come on, have a bit of fun, work hard and have some fun,
What's interesting about that is you hear everybody saying what you're saying. We've said the same thing. I don't know was it the one person that said one, you know what I mean? I feel like there was
I don't know. I guess that's all it takes, right?
Listen, I'm about to call it out on the podcast.
No, you're not. No, you are
yes,
not.
I am.
We can bleep this out.
Bleep.
Okay, fine. I won't do it. Fine. I won't do it.
Your ICO is canceled, Cynthia.
I know who started it, but I won't say anything.
It's a token refund, Cynthia.
Never mind. I love you,
one
Franklin.
person says one thing, and it becomes a debacle. But I think the vast majority are saying the same thing.
Stop it.
I won't say it. Okay, fine. I won't say it. Fine.
I mean, it's I've thought a lot about this, right? And I think, to a certain extent, I get it. I mean, I get people's reaction to that. I'm part of it is that there's just so much saltiness on Twitter right now.
It has been a long
the thing
year.
is that you're in Vegas for a conference. And I think a lot of people... I probably even shouldn't finish my statement. Okay,
Probably not.
Probably
not.
I shouldn't finish my statement. But
the bottom line is
that World CryptoCon was about influencers and not projects. And
I get the whole like reaction to. I get all the negativity from every angle. Even the word influencer leaves like a bad taste in my mouth.
I think the problem is the ticket price.
I have to use that word all the time, and I'm like, ugh. Well,
the problem is the ticket price. If you're paying $2,500 to get into a conference with influencers,
right?
Like,
well, I mean, don't pay for a ticket. Like, find a way to get a free ticket. I mean, like, if you're not hustling, you're not trying. At the end of the day, period. I mean, I was going to events out here in Chicago and just hustling for so long. You know, any way that I could get in, I was getting in. I called everyone that I knew. I did everything that I could to get the access that I needed to make opportunities happen for myself. You know, that's if you're not hungry and you're not trying to get what you need, and you're just going to pay full price for it, and then get mad about expectations that you have.
No. That's maybe not do something to get a free ticket, though. Not everybody has.
Well, I disagree. Not everybody has. I listened to your podcast with Wendy, right? Yeah. And she was like, I helped 10 people get free tickets. You know, if you just
Wendy
DM
has a big
someone,
following. That's how she helps people get free tickets. Not everybody has.
Well, but you don't have to have a big following to shoot her a DM. All you got to do is say, "Hey, Wendy, can you help me get a ticket?" You know, oftentimes people just don't ask. I think that's a really important. If there's like a takeaway philosophical vagary from me in this podcast, it would be just ask people. If you just ask people, you're probably going to get what you are hoping 100%. For most of the time. You know.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. Everybody's always afraid to ask, and once you do ask, you realize how easy it was.
You're like, wow, that was awkward, I guess.
To ask somebody, but hey, good on them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even count the number of times that folks have sent me, because I mean, LinkedIn, as soon as you become like full-time in crypto, or you put crypto on LinkedIn or something like that, you get inundated with just requests from, I don't know who. I mean, they're probably
anybody and everybody.
Yeah, but you get DMs about conferences and tickets and things, and I can't even count how many times I was just like, hey, I'm doing such and such. Do you think I could get that for free? And they were like, actually, yes. It's like 80% of the time. If you just ask someone, do you think I could do this? Generally, they're going to say, okay. I mean, at least we'll consider it.
So it's a matter of thinking outside the box.
Correct.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're all trying to do here anyway? Really? So.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway. I mean, we're not asking the government for permission to trade crypto. That's for sure.
Anyway, let's a couple more just points. Anything that you want to talk about or anything? Where can people find Beaxy? What's the easiest way? Where should they go to ask questions? We talked a little bit about the Telegram group and anything else, but anything else?
My ref link is pinned on my profile.
Cynthia,
crypto. No,
let the boy talk.
Franklin.
Cynthia's ref link. Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen it in a lot of corners of Twitter by now. Our official Twitter handle is @Beaxy Exchange. You can find us online at Beaxy.com. If you need to contact customer support, and this is by all means do so if you need them. It's support.Beaxy.com. You can check out our Telegram. Just search Beaxy on Telegram, you'll find it. Those are great places to go to start to engage with the community. And we are actually in the process of building a public Discord. That's a third one. Wow, you guys get a threefer. Goodness me. Lawrence is yelling in the other room. You get a threefer here, guys. So that's another thing that we haven't announced publicly yet, but we are going to be rolling out a public Discord soon. I think there's, Telegram's great, but there's certain limitations to what it can do and how it can allow you to organize and facilitate engagement with your community. So we are going to be rolling out a public Discord and give people the access to come in there and chat with us, and chat with our talk directly, things like that. That's something that we think is a really important part of transparency and being legit and giving people that personability. We've seen in the last, 2 weeks, 2 exit scams by exchanges, which is incredibly embarrassing as someone who's trying to work in this space and do the right thing. It really gives us all collectively a bad name, and we all bear that burden. whether we like to or not, that's a burden that we collectively bear. So we're trying to make things right. We're trying to do it the right way. And, having people be able to engage us regularly is an important piece of that.
Yeah, definitely. So, we all appreciate your time. We don't want to keep you any longer. We appreciate all of the awesome announcements that you shared with us here.
Unreal.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
A 3 for guys. It's unprecedented. I mean, no, but this was a ton of fun, and thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we can get you on again at some point before the exchange launch, just talk about anything else you might want to. And then maybe our talk as well. And we can get everybody in the same place. And, we'll be awaiting those party invites for sure.
Yeah.
No, you'll definitely get them. We'll shoot you guys a DM about those. And yeah, our talk, I mean, we had the One Tick guys in Chicago actually. So he had to go network and schmooze and all that good stuff. But he's a great and very, very interesting guy, and I think talking with him, you will have a lot of fun. He's even more fun than me, which I'm not ashamed to say. So
we're gonna have to ask him what his favorite foods to grill are, and well, next time we have you guys on, we'll play some of our signature REKT podcast games with you. We'll run you through the rapid fire and everything like that.
Love it. Awesome. Sounds like a blast.
Awesome. Well, Franklin, appreciate your time, man. Everybody check out Beaxy Exchange. I think you'll all enjoy this interview, and I hope you did. Give us some feedback. We obviously always love to hear it, and, I'll go through my normal spiel. Subscribe to us, rate us.
Subscribe us too. That's cool.
Subscribe us. Can we just subscribe us from now on?
Yeah, subscribe us. And you could just subscribe me to anything. I don't care. Take my phone, subscribe me. I don't care. Subscribe to us, rate us. It really goes a long way. Like I always say, 5 stars if you love us, 4 stars if you hate us. Don't be mean.
That's like the Uber policy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Use Uber etiquette.
You don't want to ruin
someone's
life.
Yeah,
you don't want to ruin someone's life.
It's like tipping. If you have really great service, you tip one thing. If you have regular service, you tip another thing. And none of them are usually don't be a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, be a decent human at least.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, Franklin, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. And until next time, everybody, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.